Hello and welcome to beautiful San Francisco, California. In today's video, we will be exploring Billionaire's Row, which is all on one street, and we will also be looking at various scenic locations within the city as well as right next to the city. This first mansion is a corner unit on 0.18 acres. Comes in at 10,180 square feet with 4 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. The property line is right next to those bushes to the left as well as to the front, so there is no backyard or any type of yard work that you would have to do. What do you think the value of this mansion is? Comes in at $27 million. This mansion has hosted numerous parties that have included celebrities, such as the former Prince Philip of England, and he had been married to Queen Elizabeth of England. It has also hosted a former president of the United States as well, back in the 1990s. This is Pier 39, and it is an open-air shopping area. It has about 10 or so restaurants and about 50 different types of stores. The second mansion is about 7,000 square feet, as well as with a 2,500 square foot backyard. The backyard used to be a tennis court, but they recently remodeled it, and it has about 15 magnolia trees, and each tree weighs 5,000 pounds. In fact, they had to use a crane to put it in the backyard. They're currently doing some remodeling right now, but it is owned by a very famous billionaire. Current value of this residence is about $40 million. Next part of the video coming up is Fisherman's Wharf, and Fisherman's Wharf initially opened up back in 1900. Fisherman's Wharf is very close to Pier 39 and is within walking distance, so if you're in this part of the city, you will definitely have lots of choices in regards to restaurants as well as stores. At the end of World War II, the United Nations was created right here in San Francisco back in 1945. At the time, there were representatives from 80 countries, and this was the location where they created the United Nations. The main building now is back in New York City, but it did start here right in San Francisco. City Hall is directly in front of us, and at its highest point, it's about 307 feet. In total, there are 5 floors in City Hall, and the ground area is about 500,000 square feet. Coming up is mansion number 3 at 12,730 square feet. It has 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and there's also an indoor elevator. The unique aspect about this property is it is on an 0.38 acre lot, so it has a decent amount of land with it. Furthermore, it has an outdoor swimming pool and a decent sized backyard coming in at about 2,000 square feet. Current value of this residence, August 2025, is about $41 million. Next part of the video coming up is the Golden Gate Bridge, which you can sometimes see to the left, but on this day it was just a little bit hazy, foggy, so we weren't able to see it from this viewpoint. But the Golden Gate Bridge is pretty long. It's about 1.7 miles in one direction. I remember walking across it several years ago, and when we reached the other side, we then had to walk back across the bridge. So it's definitely some good exercise if you're looking to walk about 3.5 miles or so. Out of 5 million or so bridges in the world, the Golden Gate Bridge is number 1 for receiving the most tourists, as well as being the most photographed. Mansion number 4 is about 17,500 square feet for the main residence, which is what we're looking at here. But towards the back, it also has a garage with a guest house on top for an additional 6,000 square feet. The unique aspect about this mansion is it used to be 2 parcels, but it's now combined into one. And that back part used to be its own residence and different parcel, but now it's combined into just one large parcel. Pretty significant in size, especially for San Francisco at about 0.27 acres. The value of this residence, August 2025, is about $53 million. Coming up in the next part of the video is the island of Alcatraz. It's only about 1.25 miles from San Francisco itself, so it's not too far away. But the Alcatraz Island in total is about 22 acres in size. The average jail population when it was a maximum security prison was about 260 to 275 inmates per year, but it could house up to 336 inmates. Alcatraz held the worst types of criminals in the country, as well as those that were deemed uncontrollable. The fifth mansion coming up is owned by a very famous billionaire, and it's also pretty large in size at about 17,286 square feet. It is currently being remodeled, but back in 2020, Architectural Digest said it was the most beautiful house in America. This property is on 0.17 acres, and in 2024 of July, when it sold, it was the most expensive home and still is to have ever sold in the history of San Francisco. Back then, about a year ago, it sold for $70 million and is still valued today at about $70 million. The next part of this video is in regards to the famous San Francisco cable cars. They were invented back in 1873 because the horses were just unable to carry the streetcars up the steep, wet hills of San Francisco. In regards to Lombard Street, the reason it is so twisty was because it was just too steep and they had to make these 8 turns for vehicles to go up the road. For our sixth mansion, it has a robot that is about 10 feet tall, and this residence is owned by a billionaire. Across the street, there is another mansion owned by another billionaire, and both of these billionaires worked at the same company, but their children didn't like each other. And then in 2006, someone allegedly appeared to have been a billionaire's daughter across the street, came over and vandalized the robot. A police report was filed, but there was never charges pressed, and it was handled outside of the police. It's unknown who vandalized it, but to this day it is rumored to have been one of the children across the street, and she had apparently went over there and vandalized the robot. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the 6 different mansions as well as the various scenic locations in San Francisco. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks, bye.